Hey, you're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Mark Lamont Hill. How would you feel if you were strolling down the baby aisle at Target and you saw this? Yeah, that's what you think it is. It's two men holding big guns in front of children's toys at a Target store. Well, one group of moms is, for lack of a better expression, up in arms about open carry in restaurants and retail stores. Moms demand action for gun sense in America. The national group of moms that convinced Starbucks and Chipotle to request that customers cease bringing guns to the stores has now set its sights on Target. What an apt name. Joining us now to discuss her group's mission and their new hashtag off Target is Stephanie Lundy. She's a spokeswoman for Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. I'm also joined by open carry advocate C.J. Grisham, president of Open Carry Texas. I want to be clear here. We invited Target to come, but they did not respond to our requests. Stores do not have, Target does not have a restriction on bringing guns in stores, but a spokeswoman earlier from Target told the Wall Street Journal, quote, "The safety and security of our guests and team members is our highest priority. Target does not sell firearms or ammunition. Target is committed to following all state and federal laws." That's their statement. Would have been great to have him here, but we take what we can. Stephanie, I'm going to start with you. Why are you all targeting Target?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. We are targeting Target because it's a really popular place. Moms take their kids there. I go there at least once a week. My friends go there. It's just a really popular shopping spot for us. So we want to make sure when we do go there, and we do go with our kids, that we are safe.
That seems to make sense. And do you feel unsafe when people are carrying guns in Target? I mean, these are illegal guns. These are citizens. These are ostensibly responsible people. Certainly criminals aren't walking through Target holding their guns in the aisles. Why do you feel unsafe?
So in Texas, state law doesn't require the folks carrying these rifles to go through a background check or to have any weapons training. So there's no way for us as moms to know who these folks are, if they're trained on these weapons, if they have a criminal past. So there's no way for us to be able to make an assessment as to what their intention is, given the laws in Texas, or the lack of laws in Texas.
Okay, CJ, what say you?
I say this is a desperate and pathetic attempt by a gun control extremist to create an issue out of nothing. The photo in question was taken back in January, 6 months ago, and yet they're digging into our photo archives to create controversy where there is none. The fact of the matter is that Open Carry Texas several weeks ago put a policy out, in addition with all the Texas gun rights organizations, that we are not taking firearms into businesses anymore anyway. So again, this is
why aren't you?
Say again?
Why did you stop?
Well, we stopped taking them because the message is getting convoluted by the gun control extremist crowd and Moms Demand Action, because we're talking about whether or not guns should be in businesses and not about making Texas the 40th state to allow open carry. And that's our mission. So we want to stay on point and stay on mission and not be distracted by these manufactured controversies by Moms Demand Action.
Well, I think people all around America are legitimately concerned. Not every American, but many Americans are legitimately concerned about what it means for people to engage in open carry practices in restaurants. I mean, for example, why would you want to bring a rifle to Chipotle?
Well, in Texas, if you're an 18 to 20-year-old adult, you don't have the right to carry a firearm a handgun concealed or openly. And so the only right you have to self-defense is with a rifle or a shotgun. As a matter of fact, what Moms Demand Action has done is they've attacked these young adults by posting their pictures online with the only means of self-defense they have legally in Texas.
So again, why would you need it in Chipotle?
You need a firearm anywhere you go because you never know when you're going to be the target of criminal activity.
Wow. And do you see open carry as a means of reducing criminal activity? For example, no one's going to rob Target if all the people in the Pampers aisle have shotguns.
Yeah, well, anytime you see open carry, the criminals are less likely to commit a crime. And that's the whole reason why cops open carry is because it's a deterrent. It's not the badge that prevents criminals from doing anything. It's the gun on their hip. And we've seen over and over again across the country, for example, in Kennesaw, Georgia, where two carloads full of thugs went to go rob a Waffle House, but when the scout walked in and saw just two armed people with handguns on their side, these two carloads full of well-armed people with rifles and pistols decided, you know what, we're not going to rob this place. And the only reason we know about that story is because a sheriff's deputy was driving by at the exact moment they were getting ready to take off.
We have a comment coming in from Chuck Mangione. He writes in, as he often does, and says, so why do Americans need a number before they act anymore? If you disagree with open carry, cease shopping at these establishments. Pretty simple concept. And that was not a number, that was a hashtag. I am still stuck in the 80s. Stephanie, when you see a comment like that, it raises a good argument, right? I mean, people have a right to do what they want. If you don't want guns in Target or Chipotle or Jack in the Box or some of these other places where open carry movements have demonstrated, why not just avoid going there? Why do establishments have a responsibility to stop people from doing what is in fact legal?
Well, no, he's absolutely right. We can make that decision. What we're asking is for national corporations to put policies in place that cover all of their locations throughout the country so that moms like me in Texas can shop safely, just like a mom in another state that has gun laws in place to stop that sort of things from happening, that doesn't allow folks without a background check or weapons training to carry these kind of weapons through the aisles of a Target location in this case.
So two questions for you. The first one is there any evidence that people who have engaged in open carry have created violence, created conditions of unsafety, or otherwise been irresponsible in the state of Texas because of open carry?
Well, so just the act of not knowing who these folks are is a safety issue, right? So we have no way, employees have no way to assess who is carrying these weapons and what their intent is. Children certainly don't have the ability to assess that. So,
No, I got
we're asking.
I'm not disputing that point, but I am asking, is there any evidence that anything has happened? I understand you're saying you're concerned that something could happen, but is there any evidence that anything has happened?
Well, what has happened is that people have been very concerned about what's going on, and rightly so, in a state like Texas.
So no. Okay. My next question is, because I want to make sure we're being honest here, and I happen to agree with you that I'm against open carry, but I want to make sure we're being honest here. If everyone got a background check and we knew they were registered and we knew there were no mental health issues, would you then be okay with open carry in Chipotle and Target and other places?
I'm sorry. We're not even there. We're not even to the point where we can discuss that sort of thing, given what's going on in a state like Texas.
I understand what you're saying, but your argument is that your concern is that you don't know who these people are. If we could resolve this by figuring out who these people are, they registered, they got background checks, would you then be okay with open carry in these places?
We're so far away from that, I can't even kind of consider that at this point.
Okay, so
I don't even know what that would look like.
It would look like,
given what's been going on.
It would look like everyone being registered and everyone getting a background check and knowing who the people are who have guns. Your argument is, and again, I'm not supporting open carry, but your argument is that your reason for not wanting this is that you don't know who these people are. But what you're saying is, even if you knew who these people are, you're still not conceding that you want open carry, which means perhaps that it's not just about the background. Is that fair to say?
Right now, it's about background checks and weapons training, and we're nowhere near even being able to discuss that. It's like it's Texas. It's putting the cart before the horse, right? Or it's someone acting up all day, and then one of my kids, and then asking for cake instead of dinner. It's like, we're not having cake. No one's getting cake yet. We got too many problems going on already.
Too many problems for cake. I got you. CJ, I'll give you the last question here.
Can I respond to what she said, actually?
Yeah, I'll let you respond to that, but I want to make sure you answer this question because I'm literally under a minute. If if so many people are terrified, if kids are in the aisle scared of guns, let's forget about your right for a minute to do this. No one's disputing whether or not you have a right to do it or whether it's legal. The point here is that people around the country are terrified. And when people walk into a store and they see people with guns, they're scared. And when they walk into public places where they expect to see squeaky toys and pot roast and flat screen TVs, they're seeing big rifles. They're terrified. Isn't it just a matter of being part of a citizen in a democracy that you don't want to have a bunch of people scared? And I mean, it would seem to me that that might be a legitimate concern in public space.
Well, some people are afraid of police brutality, but we don't tell police to stop carrying guns. But the fact of the matter is, anywhere that we've open carried, there haven't been criminal activity. However, since Moms Demand Action has attacked Starbucks and they've come out with their statement, there have been dozens of Starbucks robberies. There's been 5 at Jack in the Box since they caused Jack in the Box to release their statement. So these crimes are happening without our presence, but they've never happened with our presence. So if she's talking about safety, well, I feel safer when there are guns around. So whose safety are we going to actually bend to? And our members bring women and children all the time. And our rights aren't dependent on irrational emotional instability. Gun control extremists like Moms Demand Action.
Oh, CJ, you and your ad hominems. We can deal with the facts without beating up on Stephanie and other people who have a different opinion than you. That's not what we do here. And that's why I'm afraid for you to walk around with guns, CJ. Anyway, it's a great conversation. I don't agree with either of you, but I had fun. I want you all back so we can talk about this in greater detail. Stephanie, CJ, thank you so much for weighing in.
Thanks so much.
All right. Stay with us here. This is